Hello, boys and girls. I hope you've brushed your teeth, you've washed your face, and you're ready for your story. Once again, welcome back to Swavesey Storytime, and tonight's story is going to be The New Plane. When we last left off, World War Dog had just been concluded, and Andrex and Little Ted and all of the doggies won. So, they were partying, and they were partying, and they partied for 2 weeks, as I said in the last story. But after the parties, they had an after party. And this party lasted 4 weeks. And after the after party, the weasel general, no, not the weasel general, the doggy general held an urgent meeting with all of his generals and commanders and privates and stuff. And he said, we need something new and good to defend against the weasels if they ever come back and try to take our stuff. So, he asked everyone, can you think of anything? So, everybody in the room thought long and hard. Then one private suggested, maybe we can build a wall around Doggy Island. But that was a very stupid idea, and everybody told him so. Then the sergeant said, maybe we can build a big, massive celebration Mark II, so when the weasels come, they will be so intimidated that they run off. Everyone thought this was a good idea, but the doggy general still thought that they could find a better idea. So, everybody else tuned in their ideas, and they were all no use except for one idea. So, one of the generals said, why don't we develop a new airplane using the defense budget, so we will have better technology than the weasels? And everyone thought this was a good idea. So, the general put out an order for a new airplane, which had to be a jet airplane. So, lots of companies heard this requirement, and they all went into their design rooms and started designing and working and all of that stuff. So, until eventually, nobody could make a good design. So, the doggy general was very annoyed. But then one of his privates had a bright idea. What if we take the 3 best models and then give them to Andrex and Little Ted to have a look? The general choked on his coffee. Andrex and Little Ted, he said. Yes, said the private. As far as I know, they were the best pilots in that war. That is a good idea, said the general. You've been promoted. Wow, said the private. So, then the general said, and your first order as a general is to go and find Andrex and Little Ted and bring them to me. So then the private said, yes, sir, and he ran down the road and through the town until he came to the hill where Andrex and Little Ted were. Speaking of Andrex and Little Ted, they were chilling after the stress of World War Dog by playing the new update of Terraria 1.4, and they were just about to beat the Empress of Light when there came a knock on their door. This disrupted their concentration just enough for the Empress of Light to kill them, and so they lost the battle. Oh no, said Andrex. Relax, it's just a game, said Little Ted. Yeah, you're right, said Andrex. So, Andrex and Little Ted stopped playing and walked to the door. Now, when they opened the door and they saw the doggy general, they were like, oh! And then the private, who was now a general, told them, "The doggy general wants you." "Oh," said little Ted, "did we do something wrong?" The private said, "I don't know." So Andrex and little Ted went down into the secret military bunker where all the military stuff was. And then they came to a door and they didn't know the passcode. So little Ted asked Andrex if he could give him a computer. Andrex replied that he didn't have a computer. Woof woof! Grr, grr. So little Ted ran back to their house, grabbed his computer, ran back down to the secret military bunker, and then cracked the code. "Wow," said Andrex. "I didn't know your computer could do that." "Of course it can," said little Ted. "You just have to find out how." So they went down, and then when they saw the general told them about the predicament that he was in. "You see, we need a new plane," he said, "but none of the designs were really good. So we picked the top 3 and we want you two to judge." So Andrex and little Ted looked at the 3 designs. One of them was a Lockheed SRC K9 fighter jet. It had 2 machine guns, 2 cannons, and a payload for 2 bombs. "Ooh, that sounds good," said Andrex. But then he looked at the next one. It was the Supermarine Gladiator of dog, or whatever it was. So it had 4 machine guns, no cannons, capacity for 1 bomb, but it was extremely fast. Like extremely, extremely fast. "Ooh," said Andres. So then they looked at the last one. It was a biplane, like the weasel ones, with an engine on top. Andrex and little Ted were speechless. So Andrex and little Ted decided that they liked all 3 of them except for the one which was just a biplane. But then little Ted had a bright idea. "Why don't we combine the engines of the second one, which goes super extra fast, with the stuff of the first one?" he said. "Wow, that is a good idea," said Andrex. "Well done! Woof woof! Grr grr." So the general told Lockheed and Supermarine to merge together as one company. And then they started building this plane. And when it was done, it was sleek and shiny. And Andrex and little Ted decided to give it a whirl. So they climbed in, did the pre-flight checks, and then Andrex started up the engine. The engine made quite a loud noise, but Andrex was inside the cockpit, so he didn't hear much of it. "Okay," he said over the radio to the general. "Let's go! Woof woof! Grr grr!" And he opened the throttle. The plane shot into the air like it had been stung. Except it didn't go straight and then up. It went directly up. "What?" said Andrex. Little Ted laughed. "I forgot to tell you," he said. "It's a vertical takeoff aircraft." "Really?" said Andrex, who was rather annoyed at little Ted. "Yep," said little Ted. "Woof woof! Grr grr!" After he managed to get over the shock of seeing it launch itself into the sky vertically, Andrex realized that the craft was actually very good. "This is amazing," he said. "Well, I'm glad you like it," said the general. But as Andrex soared up, up into the sky, he spotted over the horizon a lot of ships, metal ships, sailing over the horizon. Uh-oh, he said. To be continued. Done, done, done! Okay, boys and girls, that is the end of the story. It's not the end of the series, of course, because I said to be continued. If you want to listen to all of the past stories, they are on the Swavesey Storytime website, which is storytime.swavesey.org. If you want to listen to random stories like every day, we have the radio at radio.swavesey.org, and I'll be playing all of the stories that I've ever done, including probably this one when we put it on. There's also a YouTube channel, and the videos will be posted on there as well. So that's it, and I guess I'll see you next time. Bye!